There it goes. Hello, hello, and welcome to the My Sugar-Free Journey podcast. And we are here today with Jared, the owner and the creator or whatever of AltrnaSweets. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And with my business partner also, Misty.
Misty, good deal. No, that's fine. Well, I talked to Misty. So I hooked up with AltrnaSweets when we met a couple weeks ago with Carrie Brown. So we went to a barbecue place to eat. And Misty was there with AltrnaSweets products, and we all got to try her. We got to try the barbecue sauce, the ketchup, the spicy ketchup, and the barbecue sauce was great. It was fantastic to have a keto, a keto sauce that we could eat there at a barbecue place, and it was fantastic. So after getting to sample all of their wares, I wanted to get the people behind AltrnaSweets on the podcast, and that's when Misty told me to contact you, Jared. So welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, fantastic, and thank you so much for coming on. So let's get a little bit about your story before AltrnaSweets. What how did you come to this way of eating?
Well, like a lot of people, I was overweight myself, and did some diets in the past, and I couldn't really stick on it, and discovered low carb. I mean, back kind of like in the Atkins days, 2003, 2004.
Right.
Lost some weight, but kind of, lost, 10, 20 pounds and, kind of plateaued just because I got kind of bored with it. Back then they did come out with some products and sauces and things like that, but they fizzled out. So I kind of bounced around, a little bit of low carb, and then would gain weight back, and I wasn't feeling good. I've always felt better eating, keto, low carb. And then, so around 2011, I was wanting my ribs, my burgers and stuff. And I was just trying some, other barbecue sauces that were like low sugar, no sugar. And it was pretty terrible, to be honest with you. And so I'm like, man, I want to stick to low carb. I got to stay on it, and I'm feeling great. So I just started experimenting in the kitchen with the barbecue sauce that was super good tasting, but also I was trying to limit my artificial sweetener. So I'm like, well, there's not a stevia one. There's not a naturally sweetened one. So started experimenting with that, and it was really fantastic. And so I was like, this is great. I gave it to some of my friends that they never had, they weren't sugar-free or any kind of diet. So I'm like, hey, if they like it,
right,
then we might have something here. So yeah, I gave it to my friends, let them try it. They said it was amazing. And, I had an opportunity to start a company, and I'm like, this needs to be out there. It's really helping me. I think it'd help others. And that's how it was. That's kind of how it started, with just the first product.
My experience with barbecue sauces in particular, but just sauces in general on the ketogenic diet has been fairly negative. Like the first sugar-free sauce that I got, I forget the name. It was like Walden or something like that, and we got it from the grocery store. And that was the first time I realized that if you were going to get a sugar-free barbecue sauce, it was going to be so loaded with sweeteners that it was like pouring candy on your ribs or whatever. It was just super, super sweet. And I tried several sugar-free or low sugar barbecue sauces at was available at like Walmart or whatever, and every one of them just super, super, super sweet, like cloyingly sweet. And it was, it wasn't even a good sweet. It was the sweet that comes from these artificial sweeteners, and so it left a bad taste in your mouth, and just didn't enjoy any of them. And so we kind of gave up on barbecue sauces for a while. In fact, I tried to make my own, and in those early days, so I've been doing this for like 6-7 years now, in those early days of trying to make your own barbecue sauces, it seemed like every recipe called for something really weird, like the sweetener is really weird. In fact, the one that I found that was closest to what I could, tolerate required like a half a cup of Diet Coke. That
Oh,
was one of the ingredients, like a half cup of Diet Coke to sweeten it. And so, which made it was nice, it was good, but I'm not trying to put a bunch of Diet Coke in my, in my
right.
diet. It's been tough. The Primal brand, even their products, a lot of them, I just didn't. I love their mayonnaise. Didn't like any of their barbecue sauces. Didn't like any of their ketchups. And so there's very few really good tasting sauces on the market, especially a tomato-based sauce. So I got to tell you, I was so pleasantly pleased by your product the other day at the barbecue place. It tastes really good, and so I think you've really got a winner on your hands. That's why I wanted to make sure that you're on the podcast and let my listeners know about it, because it's good stuff. And I should say, before we get any deeper into this, I don't have an affiliate link. This is not something I'm doing. I'm trying to make myself rich. I just really enjoyed the product. It was good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. It really is. And in fact, since then I've used, whenever I make a hamburger patty, I like a little bit of ketchup with my hamburger patty, and yours is perfect. And the barbecue sauce is really good for a couple other things that we've done around here. So it's good stuff.
Very good.
So you made that product, you gave it to your friends, but then the next step is like marketing it and all that good stuff. So how did you go through all that?
Well, yeah, that's probably the hardest part. You could have the greatest product in the world, nobody knows about it, then yeah. So that's always was hard. So I kind of did, we may have talked to other companies, they did the farmers market thing. So, I did kind of my local farmers market. They were looking, for, homegrown, better for you food. And it went well. And that was another way to test it. That's after we had it bottled, labeled, let's just see what people think of it on a broader scale of a farmer's market. And the feedback was really good. It was more of the shotgun approach, just, a farmer's market. It wasn't like a ketogenic conference or a low carb conference. So that was the start. And then in there, I was like, well, we need to have another product. So I thought ketchup, that was one that I made myself all the time. They had other ones out there, but again, I didn't like them. Artificially sweetened, too sweet, not sweet enough. So it wasn't really, again, sticking to lifestyle. Something's got to taste good. You're not going to stick with it. So the ketchup came out in there within that first year. And to me, that product was going to have been afterthought. I'm like, I'm not going to really sell much, I'm like, it's ketchup, but that one surprised me. Got a lot of good feedback on our classic ketchup. So that was right in there. And so then we were demoing the ketchup and the barbecue sauce at farmers markets. And so that was how we kind of initially was getting it out there. And then basically we moved to online. So we made a website, the sell on our website, and then we're like, well, we got to get on Amazon because a lot of people are looking for specialty things on there. So that was kind of a few things we focused on to get it out there.
So the spicy ketchup. So in Texas, for those of you listeners that are outside of Texas, we have a very famous burger place here in Texas. It's called Whataburger, and it's like if people come from how California people feel about In-N-Out, that's how Texans feel about Whataburger. It's like it's what people, they come to Texas, they go to eat at Whataburger, and one of the things they have are these little buckets, buckets. Probably good is they're not packets of spicy ketchup. And it's a big deal. It's great, and it's another one of those things that I don't eat anymore because it's full of sugar and everything. So your spicy ketchup, I've never had another I've never had another like keto sauce company come up with the spicy ketchup. So how did you decide to do that?
Well, that was a creation of Misty and I. Were like, well, we need to have another product, and we were just kind of going back and forth, like, maybe we could do another variation of the barbecue, maybe we could do something of the ketchup, and it was just real interesting. I'm like, we created the spicy ketchup, and we're like, this is really good. I think we need to to move on this. And again, you know, had some people try it and they're like, wow, it's really, really good. And it's funny you bring up Whataburger, because a lot of people after we launched that said that's just like what I used to have at Whataburger.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, it's right there.
And it was crazy because it was not intentional. We had never had the spicy ketchup from them. You know, it was just our creation, and it just so happened to be really similar. You know, it's not a scorcher hot, you know, ketchup.
Yeah.
You know, but it's got a nice little zest kick to it. So that was just really interesting. And, you know, when we went to Texas a couple years ago, we actually picked some up and we're like, wow, they're right. It is really similar. I don't know how we did that. so that was a really good product, really popular product too. So that one was, you know, kind of surprised us too, but it tastes really good.
Yeah, it really does. And like I said, as a Texan, it's exactly, in fact, I don't even use, you know, I've got the bottle of the regular ketchup and the spicy ketchup. I don't even know that I've opened the regular ketchup yet. Because you know, the spicy ketchup is where I go. I don't get a whole lot of spicy foods because my wife cannot eat anything spicy. She's a Floridian, and she wasn't raised on it. So anything anytime I can get something a little bit of bite on it, a little spicy, that's the way to go. In fact, we go to this burger place down the road every once in a while, and her burger's like, I don't even know, it's got like blue cheese or something on it, and mine's got jalapenos and you know, habanero sauce and or not sauce but peppers and everything blended on it, and you know, I love it. You know, it's good stuff. So to be able to get something spicy on my food is good stuff. So you did a good thing. Where are you and Misty from? What part of the country are you from?
We're up actually north of Seattle. So
okay.
We're up in, you know, Washington State, kind of almost close to the Canadian border. So we're quite north.
Yeah. Okay. So far north. My wife is sitting next to me, and she goes, "But I like ketchup that's not spicy. So we have to continue to buy your regular ketchup."
There we go. There we go.
So, that's good stuff. How did you and Misty meet, or you know, why did y'all go into business together?
Well, we met through a mutual friend, and you know, we got together, and we just had similar ideas. Like, so I technically started the company, and then like less than a year later, she got involved. And, you know, to be honest with you, I'm like, I'm just trying to do the best that I can. I was doing it by myself. And then she just had a ton of great ideas. And we actually tweaked, you know, a couple of the recipes even, and made them that much better. So, but yeah, she's done a really good job with that marketing part, because all I was doing was like kind of getting out in farmers markets and, you know, a website, and, you know, I did the Amazon listings, but it really wasn't doing a whole lot. So, I mean, she was able to kind of take things to the next level as far as the marketing and her networking with people, and just, you know, progressively thinking about how we can get our product out there to people, because it, you know, we believe once they try it, they're like, hey, you know, they're sold, they want it, you know. And, you know, she's keto also, and had been low carb around the same time I was, so that was pretty cool. So I mean, she's a believer in, you know, eating that way, and know how important it is to have really good tasting products. Help you stick to it. So we have that same mindset.
Yeah, well, like I said, we had terrible products for years. I mean, the first probably 5 years that I was on keto, there really wasn't a good tasting, especially barbecue sauce. Because, you know, there are other things I like. I like A1 sauce.
Right.
You can't really. There's not an A1 sauce. You know, I like mayonnaise was another big one. I was so glad that Primal Kitchen, you know, came out with their Primal mayonnaise, because you couldn't get a mayonnaise without soybean. You know, and there's just to be able to have seen the evolution of keto sauces over the last 3 years. That you know, to see these sauces kind of come into the market and carve out their own niche. I cannot tell you how happy happy I am to see it, because it really expands the palette of things that I can cook, and palette of things that I can eat. And, you know, I don't want to, like I mentioned, that the barbecue sauce that I cooked with the Diet Coke, I don't want to have to go cook my own barbecue sauce. You know, I want to be able to crack open a bottle and eat it. Exactly. I've got other things to do.
And that was the thing, is when you're doing low carb keto or whatever, at least back then you really had to like prepare everything yourself. You couldn't just
Yes,
grab something, there
we very
wasn't,
much did.
you know, and so if you have to also prepare your own sauces on top of it, it's just like, we're
Hmm.
busy people, most of us, and we
Right.
don't have time for it, or, we don't have that ingredient. And it's just nice to have something, or, you're traveling and, you just want to take
Yeah.
something with you, when you go out,
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly. Yeah. Especially, yeah, if you go out. Like there's another company that sent me samples of their, not sample, they sent me like full size bottles of their barbecue sauce. It was good. It tasted good, but the way that it's bottled is it's not, they're not a bottle. It's in a squeeze packet.
Mhm.
And the squeeze packet has like a flip lid. I
Uh-huh.
would never, like, there's no way my wife would ever put that in her purse, because you hit
Yeah.
it wrong and the thing's going to open and squirt all over the inside of the
Yeah.
purse.
You gotta be
So
careful.
yeah, so I was happy that you've actually got a screw on, screw on top. That was, and I would never have thought that, a screw on top barbecue sauce would be something that I would look for in a thing. But yeah, I mean, we like to travel with these things. We like to
Right.
take them out.
Yeah.
And so you did a good thing there as well. Um, I'll tell you one thing. Well, this is probably outside of your field of things that you want to mess with, but I'll tell you the next thing that I'm looking for in keto sauces and stuff is keto gravies. There's a, like, I want, the pepper gravy we used to get on top of biscuits. I can't eat the biscuits anymore, but sometimes I have a really good keto chicken fried steak
Ooh.
dinner that I make. I love it. Say Carrie Brown being my co-host, is she's helped with that. There's a few things I got to buy because she's given me some suggestions, and I'm gonna try them out. But I think
Wow.
that's the next thing.
That'd
The
be
guy who
amazing.
can come out with the turkey gravy and the beef gravy and the flour gravy, that's all low carb. That's the next little, that's the next
Wow, that would be amazing.
frontier. Yeah, it would be. That's the next thing I'm looking for.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about your process of, coming up with a recipe is one thing. How do you get this made? How do you get it bottled? Do you have a plant, or do you have someone else do it? What does that look like?
Yeah. So we, a lot of people, if they start like kind of a food company or sauce company or anything like that, usually they have a recipe. They, might go to the grocery store or like Sam's Club or Costco and get ingredients, and then they, rent a like commercial kitchen,
Right.
and they bottle it and they do all that. We basically skip that step. Just we just skipped that step, and we went and found a factory that can actually produce it for us. And so, I give them the recipe, and they go, "Hey, you got to enlarge this on a big scale." And then, it comes to, can they source all the ingredients? And there's just a lot of hoops to jump through to make sure, it's not just throwing a bunch of ingredients in and, you've got a product.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it. Nutrition facts and ingredient labels and all the stuff you got to deal with. So we just went to a factory, and they enlarge it, they bottle it, label it. It's ready to go for us. And it's worked out well because they can produce as we grow too.
Okay.
So if you're kind of doing it yourself, I mean, you're kind of limited if you're just literally bottling it yourself. Just, if you're, get a huge order or something, it's going to take you a week to fill it or 2 weeks. And so, and when you have a factory, they deal with all the FDA stuff, and, they have to be accountable for that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
so a lot of peace of mind there too.
That was the other thing that, there's so much I've learned about the food industry as I've gone through this process. When you buy a bottle of Heinz ketchup, it tastes the same as every other bottle because, there's tomatoes that's involved in it, but then, they've got a flavor that they put in it that makes it taste like Heinz ketchup. Same with orange juice is the big one. Orange juice, because they'll squeeze that orange juice and then they'll just leave it in vats until the flavor basically leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Uh,
Looks like I got a connection. Can you hear me?
flavorings, whatever, but they put their own flavor on it. So hey there.
Hey, lost you.
Sorry, let me see. Am I okay? We're still recording. Sorry
Sorry.
about that.
Yeah.
You just went away there for a minute. I was just saying that I don't know where I went off, but the
flavor of the
flavor, yeah, like every big brand has their own flavor, and
right.
it's different than other brands. But you're using natural ingredients, and that was one of the things that Misty said is you might have a one batch that tastes a little different than the next batch because you're using, all natural tomatoes, and the tomatoes might be a little different from one batch to the next.
Exactly.
Is that an issue, or do you see that as a positive for your product, or how are you looking at that?
No, just from customer feedback, and we really rely on what our customers say. It doesn't seem to appear to have been an issue, and
Okay.
I think it's really slight, if any. That's my opinion. But yeah, tomatoes change. Even peppers to give something heat, can have a little bit of a range.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
So
think about that, but yeah, you're right.
so I think if there was any kind of issue, maybe that, maybe, oh, this one's just slightly hotter than the last batch, or this one's a little more mild than the last batch. But overall, just from the feedback we've heard, doesn't appear to be an issue.
Good deal.
Yeah.
What have sales been like over the last, say, year?
Sales have been really, really, really jumped up for us just because we're trying to get the product out there, and then more people are getting on keto now. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed, the last 18 months, 2 years, it's like really kind of blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we always like to just say, hey, we've been around since 2012. We've believed in, ketogenic diet, low carb, we eat this way anyways for us. So we've been around a while. We're not kind of jumping on something, make the quick buck. And so that's, I feel that was an advantage for us, just being established first. And then, our company's AltrnaSweets. We're not like keto barbecue or keto this, and which could help people identify what product we are. But, we're not just a keto company too, because like diabetics can benefit from our product.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And anyone that's trying to control their sugar, it's a good product for them. All right. Well, tell my listeners where they can find you, where they can buy your stuff, where they can follow you on social media, all that good stuff.
You betcha. So like on Facebook, AltrnaSweets, same with Instagram. We have a really big presence on Instagram. We post a lot of recipes, how to use our sauces, because it seems like, well, you just have ketchup and barbecue sauce. We should see some of the creative stuff that's posted on there. By our customers that use it every day. They're making cocktail sauces, dressings. I mean, just this really cool stuff that you can eat on keto. I mean, we mostly 99% of the stuff is keto type foods. And then the best place to buy us is AltrnaSweets.com. You get free shipping over 3 bottles. And if you're an Amazon Prime person, we do sell all 3 sauces on there.
Do you have, or what does the future hold for AltrnaSweets? You got more sauces coming out, or?
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely working on more sauces. We have we set the bar very high for ourselves. We feel like we want to put out the highest quality possible. So we are working on more sauces, but we're pretty picky. So right. We always go, we're going to tweak that. Oh, we need to do that. And again, sourcing our ingredients, we want to make sure they're the best that we can get for our customers and still taste good.
Perfect. All right. Well, Jared, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And guys, we're going to put links to all of that in the show notes, especially links to AltrnaSweets, so you can try out their sauces. And again, all 3 of them are good, but the spicy ketchup, if you're from Texas, you probably need to try that spicy ketchup. It's good stuff. If you miss your Whataburger, try it out.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jared, thank you so much for coming on the show. And those of you that are listening, hold on. We'll be right back with some more information.
Thanks so much.